Hey there, Dragonsworn. I've seen this article be popped around several news sources, and I read something I hadn't read before, so I just couldn't let it go. So, this article comes to us from winteriscoming.net, who thankfully is around to let us know each month that the Wheel of Time isn't coming out that month. Am I the only one that sees those articles pop up all the time saying Wheel of Time is not coming out in April? It's whatever. I don't know. I just find it funny that every month we have to get the same article that a show isn't coming out. I wonder for how many shows they do that for. I'm getting off topic. So I've seen this article, doing the rounds, and I wasn't gonna make a video on it because honestly, there's not much to it. I mean, Daniel Henney is talking about playing land, and everything he has to say isn't all bad. To be honest, I mean, he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders for the most part. Um, at least it seems like it. And half of this interview is fine. He seems to actually. It seems he somewhat knows land from some of the things he say. For instance, well, here, the article is Wheel of Time star was unsure about land scene that wasn't in the books. I'm just gonna throw it out there. If I'm what scene do you think we're talking about here? I bet you can guess it because I guessed it. Uh, 20 theoretical dollars your way if you guess it. But here, let's go down here. We'll take a look here. It's some of the things he has to say. So he compares the show land to book land, and it's mostly him just saying that his look wasn't what everybody. Some people said they pictured land, which is fine. I have no issue with that. It's one of those. It is what it is. But he's some characters take longer to come to you than others, whether it's relating to certain aspects of their history or physical aspects of the role. Land came to me quickly. I knew him. I loved him right away. And when I read the books, I found connective tissue with him as a warder, as a boy without a home, as a man whose value and duty above all, and his deathly loyal to the ones he loves. I can relate to those traits. Blah 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 blah. So, that's all well and good. I think those are for the most part Lance traits. But that's not why I'm making this video. We're going to talk about the nipple twist scene, the the nipple twist heard around the world. Well, not really around the world. Not that many people watch this show. How about the nipple twist heard around the block? There we go. We'll say around the block. Okay. So Daniel Henney wasn't sure about including the designated mourner scene in episode 5. Designated mourner. Okay, whatever. I didn't know it was called that, but fine. So it still pisses me off that they called episode 5 Blood Calls Blood. It was a total freaking bait and switch. It has nothing to do with the Dark Prophecy Blood Calls Blood, but we don't we don't care about book shit, right? We just don't. So let's get into it. Of course, we have a great picture here of him. He's got those fingers right on them nips. It hurts. It sure looks like it's hurting a lot. Uh, All right, so yes, that scene was postponed a couple of times for various reasons. I'm hoping one of them was to not do it at all because it shouldn't have been anywhere near land or the show. Probably not, but so I always kind of knew it was out there, lurking and waiting for me. Ha ha, ha ha. I was nervous for various reasons, but mainly I wanted the essence of land in the books to remain in him even during those moments. That was tough. Yeah, you know why it's tough? I'm gonna wait a second. You guys know why. Just guess why it's tough. Tell me in the comments why it's tough for the essence of land to be in this scene. Because Land would never do this, right? that's why it was tough, because that wasn't Lan. Lan sitting there having a cry fit over his friend would never happen. Death is lighter than a feather. Duty heavier than a mountain. He would mourn him, but he wouldn't have a full-on crybaby fit while ripping his shirt off for some reason and playing with his nips. It just wouldn't happen. And that's why it was tough, because it doesn't belong anywhere near. They completely have no idea. If they think that that is Lan in that scene, then they either they haven't. We all know they haven't really read the books. They've skimmed it and then hit the wiki page. But that's why it's tough, because it's not Lan and it doesn't belong there, and it's not something Lan would do. Period. But he goes on, and I've seen that quote. So here's the other part of that I hadn't seen before. I frankly had concerns about whether or not to have the scene in there at all. Well, because that is you. See, now I believe this comment right here. So right here, I believe that, now him saying this, I think makes me believe a little bit that maybe he did read the books and he did like Lan, because if he had concerns about whether it was in there or not, it's probably because he knew in the back of his mind that it shouldn't have been in there at all, and that Lan wouldn't do it. But after numerous discussions with our writing staff, I too agreed that it was important to showcase how deep the bond was between Lan and Moiraine. So I take this as he was overruled. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does that sound like what I mean? That's I'm trying to read between the lines here, but after numerous discussions with our writing staff, I too agreed. I take that as him having to be convinced that this scene had to take place. And then it's because of the bond. Like, I don't understand. Why would that? Like, because Moiraine was crying, and because he was crying, because Lan would surely, Lan cries, right? So the whole point of this scene was to signify how strong the bond is between Warder and Aes Sedai. There's about a million other better ways you could have done that. Maybe the previous episode would have been a good place where Steppen should have went into berserker rage when his Aes Sedai died, and he went flailing into the enemy, killing as many as he could until he finally succumbed and got killed because he just kept chopping people's heads off and killing people until he was surrounded by too many and he couldn't take them all because he had such bloodlust because the bond was broken. That might have been a good way to showcase how strong the bond is between Aes Sedai and a Warder. Maybe? No? This is the problem with this show. Like, you want to showcase the strength of the bond, you have the perfect scene to do it, even when in your crappy show. Even in your crappy episode, just have him go batshit crazy, cutting people to death because she died. The moment she dies, you have him go nuts. Just frickin' straight up bloodlust. Nope. Can't do it. Because we have to have the waste of an hour, a whole episode scene on Steppen committing suicide. Because he's sad. It's not in the books, thank God, but we felt that it was right for me to show, right for the show. Well, yeah, it's right. Maybe it's right for the show because the show has nothing to do with Wheel of Time. So, sure, whatever show this is depicting, whatever media this is depicting, because it sure isn't Wheel of Time, right? But I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me know in the comments here. But I think that is sort of an admission that he didn't want to do this scene, and he didn't feel it belonged in the show. He had to be convinced. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. That scene took all day to shoot. I beat myself up literally the entire day, and when I was finished, I was so relieved. I didn't hang on to the scene mentally afterwards, but physically my shoulder was black for about 2 weeks. Well, dude, I'm sorry you beat yourself up for that scene. And I would have thought it was your nips that needed ice from all the squeezing, but uh, I would think as an actor, if you put yourself through that type of physical abuse, you would hope that the reaction to the scene that you abused yourself for would be warm and accepting. And you know what? I almost feel bad for this guy because this scene was garbage, and I think most people have said straight up that it's garbage and it sucked, and it is a complete betrayal of Lan's character. And I think he knew it. It sounds like he knew it. But I almost can feel bad for the guy, but I know that if I twisted my nipples and beat myself up for countless hours filming this scene, and then I see it on screen and get the reception that it did, which was not great, I would be pretty upset. Especially since it sounds like he knew it shouldn't have been there. I would be even more upset in saying, "I told you so, stupid writers. Lan would never do this, and you completely dropped the ball and fucked it up. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so." So I don't know. Maybe he closet is a maybe he really is a Wheel of Time fan. If that's what he felt, and he just was overruled. What do you think? You think he was overruled? I think he was. But that's there's they go blah blah blah. There's a little bit left of the article, but it's only about how exhausting and stuff it must have been for him, right? Of course. But yeah, so I just couldn't let it go. I feel like the actor knew it shouldn't have been in there. He should have went with his guts and planted his feet and said, "No, we're not doing it." His shoulder and nipples would have felt better for a long time if he didn't do it. As well as his head and his heart, because he'd know that he stuck by it and protected the integrity of Lan. And now Lan is Lan baby forever in the Wheel of Time show. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time. All hail the Lord Dragon. Have a great day.